Hey there, everybody. Derek Stevenson with Cruising Duo Travel coming at you on this gloomy Friday night. At least here in New Jersey, it's gloomy.
But it's Friday.
But it is Friday, yes. Just wanted to come at you with some talk a little bit about road trips. Started putting together a couple of posts or thoughts on doing some road trips as things start to open back up again and we can travel at least a little bit. Me personally, I like to drive and I like to do a road trip. Some of my most fond memories are when in years gone by, coming home from work on Friday afternoon, grabbing the kids, grabbing some some clothes and stuff, hopping in the car and just taking off for the weekend. If you have any road trip destinations that you want me to talk about as I roll out this series, comment in the comments. Let me know where you want to go, where you want me to talk about places you shouldn't go. But tonight it's basically about how to prepare for a road trip. Not everybody's done extensive road trips. Not everybody has taken a few common sense precautions before they do, and they've paid the price. So my top 10 best road trip tips. First, make sure your vehicle's up to the task. If you own a 1973 Hoopty with 933,000 miles on it and you haven't done an oil change in this millennia, might not be the best car for you to take. If you're planning a road trip, take your car to the mechanic ahead of time, get an oil change, check the tires, do some common sense stuff, mechanic type stuff to make sure the likelihood of you getting there and back safely is higher. Let's put it that way. Map out your trip. Use your GPS, use Google, Google Maps, however you'd like to do it. Map it out ahead of time, and then do yourself a favor. Get a piece of paper and a pen. Yes, they still make those things, and write down the general directions. You don't have to, write down every turn by turn and how many, miles and tenths of a mile till the next turn, but at least write down on a piece of paper the major highways you're going to be taking. 95 south to 495 west to 66, that kind of thing. Because, sometimes when you're out in the middle of nowhere is probably the best way to say, the most polite way to say it. GPS goes out, or you lose signal, or there's no satellites above you, and then you're like, oh crap, now where am I going? And those of you younger than me, reading a map is a lost art. A few of us can still do it, but make sure you have written directions just in case. Have some cash, credit cards and debit cards and all that stuff. They're great, and makes it easier. But grab $20, grab $40. Throw it in your wallet, throw it in your, most cars don't have ashtrays anymore, but throw it in your car, because you never know. You might need, you might go somewhere that their credit card machine is down and you're on empty and you need 10 or 20 bucks worth of gas to get you to the next filling station. Gas station. But, throw some cash in the car. You never know. Start out clean. Get the car, and I don't just mean personal hygiene, take a shower, but get a car wash. Clean out the old McDonald's wrappers and Burger King boxes, because you're going to accumulate stuff along the way. At the very least, if you start out clean, it'll make the trip a little more pleasant. Eat smart and drink smart. So anybody that's ever taken a road trip with me knows that when I'm behind the wheel, the gas tank starts at full and the car doesn't stop until it's on empty. Well, maybe not empty, but a quarter tank. If you're a person that's on a road trip with me and you bring along a 2-liter bottle of soda with you and you drink it in the first couple hours, guess what? You're going to be holding it, or you're going to be using that empty bottle, because I just don't stop, don't, if you're going to be on a 12, 16, 18-hour road trip, don't bring 48 ounces of coffee and 20 ounces of water and, all that, because you're going to be stopping, and all of a sudden a 12-hour trip is going to take you 16 hours, and other people are going to be pretty irritable, especially if one of those people is me. Take turns driving. This one, it kind of depends on the person. Ask anybody in my life. I don't like to give up the wheel. So I'm a horrible, horrible passenger. But if nobody in the car is obsessive about driving like I am, take turns. Drive 2 hours. Drive 3 hours and then switch. It does make the trip go easier for some people. Take a break every few hours. If you have little kids in the car, or people with tiny bladders, I won't mention any names, but take every 2 hours, I prefer every 4 hours. You stop, you go to the bathroom, you fill up with your gas tank, and you walk around for 5 or 10 minutes. Stretch the muscles. It does make the trip more pleasant. Prepare a playlist. I like books on tape. So when I'm driving, particularly if I'm driving overnight and there are other people in the car that don't like books on tape, but they're sleeping, to me, yes, Kathy, I know your bladder resembles that. But I love books on tape. So I'll have a playlist of music during the day or when the other people in the car are awake. But when I'm driving and, it's dark out and everybody else has crashed, I pop in my favorite Tom Clancy or Michael Crichton or Lee Child book, and boom, I'm gone. Next thing I know, the sun's coming up. It's 6 hours later, and I'm digging it. And lastly, know the people you're traveling with. Know their personalities. Are they the type of person that has a tiny bladder, as we've already talked about? Can't sit still for more than an hour or two at a time. I'm not saying don't take a trip with them, but know what you're getting into. I was on a road trip a couple years ago, and the couple that we were with, they're really good people, and I love them, but they have very different ideas of a road trip than I do. See, to me, when you get on the road, Google Maps says it's going to take 12 hours to get there. My goal is to beat Google, to get there in 11 and a half hours, or even better, 11 hours, okay? Other people don't feel that way. It's not a race against Google to them. To them, it's, stop every hour or two, smell the roses, eat at every rest stop that you pass, buy everything you can find in each one of the truck stops that you stop in, and literally a 12-hour trip took us 16 hours. And I didn't have any gray hair when that trip started. Well, actually, that's kind of an exaggeration, but know the people you're traveling with. If they are the go-get-'em type like me, know that ahead of time, and know that means that they're not going to be thrilled if you want to stop every 2 hours, okay? If they, if you're that go-getter and you're traveling with people who need to stop every hour or two, know that also, and plan your mentality, plan your thought process accordingly, okay? Otherwise, it's going to turn into a nightmare, and you might not ever talk to those people again. So that's my basic top 10 for how to plan for and prepare for a road trip. If you have anything that I missed that you always consistently do every time you go on a road trip, share it in the comments. Let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas, new ways to improve. I tried duct taping the mouths of the people that I travel with. That didn't go over so well. I still have a restraining order for some reason, but share any comments, any thoughts. Also, if you have a road trip that you're thinking about taking, a destination, somewhere you want to go, leave that in the comments. Maybe I'll feature that location next week as I actually start my road trip series on here. All right. That's about it for me. I hope you guys have a great Friday night and a good weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.